All right, so let's start with the big story that we're tracking on Beyond this hour, where India and Vietnam will be holding a joint naval drill in the South China Sea amidst heightened tensions with Beijing. The two-day passage exercise, or the PASEX as it is known, will start from tomorrow. The drills are the very first ones since the Galwan clashes between India and China at Ladakh at the line of actual control. Meanwhile, India's Navy's INS Kiltan has already reached Vietnam to participate in the drill. The warship reached the country with 10 tons of humanitarian aid under India's Mission Sagar. In a statement, the Indian Navy has said, and I quote, "The current visit seeks to enhance maritime cooperation between the two navies and will further bolster the strong bonds of friendship between India and Vietnam and will contribute to security and stability in the region." Now, India and Vietnam have increased high-level engagements, including defense cooperation amidst China's growing expansionist policies. Now, earlier this week, New Delhi had also handed over the first of the 12 high-speed guard boats to the country. Now, Vietnam has time and again called out Chinese aggression in the South China Sea. All right, now to get us more perspective in terms of what this actually means, we're joined in by Vyon Siddhant Sibal, who's joining us live on this broadcast. Good morning to you, Siddhant. Bring us up to speed with what is likely to happen with these joint naval exercises between India and Vietnam.
Well, it is part of increased defense cooperation between Hanoi and New Delhi, but there are two aspects of the visit of the Indian Navy ship. First, of course, providing aid to Vietnam even as the flood have ravaged central parts of the country, and of course the PASEX exercises. The aid part is also important because India is seen as a preferred security partner in the Indo-Pacific region, and this is the third mission of the Indian Navy, the Mission Sagar 3. Before that, there have been two missions, Mission Sagar 1, in which India reached out to 5 Indian Ocean countries with COVID aid in terms of medicine and food. These include countries like Maldives, Sri Lanka, Seychelles, Comoros, and of course Madagascar. And then of course Mission Sagar 2, in which the focus was the African countries like Sudan with the aid, and now of course Vietnam coming into the picture. But the visit, of course, will see the important part, the PASEX exercises. It's not the first time that India is having these exercises with any member of the ASEAN country in South China Sea, but this time it's interesting because this is for the first time it's happening after, of course, the Galwan incident, but also coming just days after the virtual summit between the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Vietnamese Prime Minister. In fact, the announcement came just yesterday, 2 days after the virtual summit happened, a summit in which number of focus areas were, of course, on security and defense, including, of course, as you just focused on the ship, on the boat being given to Vietnam as part of India's line of credit on defense to Vietnam. But largely, if you look at how India is helping Vietnam, India is providing training and capacity building to Vietnamese forces, including the Air Force and of course the Navy as well. So this is a broader picture and something that of course will irk Beijing. We do expect a reaction from China very soon, perhaps next week, but by and large Beijing will be irked given the fact that how two of the countries with which it doesn't have very positive relationship because of the aggressiveness by the Chinese forces are coming together.
Absolutely indeed, Siddhant. And also considering the fact that this is, of course, happening in the South China Sea, an area that China actually considers to be its clear sphere of influence. Will we see more engagement by the Indians in this region?
Well, it is, of course, the start. We can expect more engagement, and as we know that India sees the Pacific and the Indian Ocean as a common area now under the Indo-Pacific vision, as the Indian External Affairs Minister recently outlined India's vision in terms of geography of the Indo-Pacific, from the eastern shores of Africa to the western shores of the Americas, the Pacific Ocean. So that is a very, very large area, and India, by this definition, understand that this means that India has naturally the power and of course the breadth to go to these regions, and no longer the definition of own backyard stands true in a sense, because we have seen how the Chinese have been increasingly present in the Indian Ocean region. Even as we speak, there are 3 Chinese warships in the Indian Ocean, and we have seen increased presence of Chinese vessels, the fishing vessels, trying to shape through the region. So clearly India would like to see its own forces also being present in the South China Sea. Of course, China sees South China Sea 90% of it as its own territory, something that has been rejected by the United Nations, but of course China has dismissed that. So largely this increased presence of the Chinese in the Indian Ocean and Indians in South China Sea is a reality, and that reality is only going to increase in next few years.
Absolutely, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Siddhant Sibil, for joining us and getting us